Hello guys and welcome again to Comimatic. Now from the title you might think that this is a video on the Silver Age Superman, but actually this is a video about limits. You see, everyone has limits. It's a very big part of ourselves. Quick quiz, how fast do you think you can run? 20 kilometers per hour? Maybe 30 kilometers per hour. Well, the fastest a human being has ever run is about 45 kilometers per hour. Now, is it possible that anyone can run faster than that? The truth is that it is very unlikely, but who knows? Maybe one day someone will run a little faster than the current world record. Now think of a car. Most cars can easily reach 100 kilometers per hour, but can you imagine a human being running that fast? You cannot, because it's impossible. There is a limit to how fast we can run. The human body is simply not made to reach that kind of speeds. No matter how hard you train or how focused you get, you simply cannot go that fast. It's the same with lifting weights. In fact, every action that we do is bound by limits. Comic books have characters that are extremely powerful. Beings such as Black Adam, the Ghost Rider, Shazam, Martian Manhunter, Juggernaut, Doomsday, and countless others have vast superhuman strength, speed, durability, etc. Some of these guys like Thor and Wonder Woman are so strong that they can literally lift and pull entire planets. Even the Hulk is so powerful that he can break a continent with one step, and he is often said to have incalculable levels of strength. Now these are beings who are virtually limitless. However, this does not mean that they do not have limits. They do. In fact, they have often trained to become stronger or have been under extraordinary circumstances, like in the case of the World War Hulk, whose family and society was taken from him, and that impossible rage caused him to surpass his limits. Because we all know, the angrier Hulk gets, the stronger he becomes. But the character that I am going to talk about in this video might actually be the perfect being, a being who is truly limitless, the Silver Age Superman. Now for my viewers who might be thinking that there is one Superman and what the hell is this guy talking about, I am not talking about the Superman that you see in the present comics and in movies. The DC universe, or rather any comic book universe, has many different versions of the same character, and these versions are often said to exist in different universes or timelines. You see, during the 1950s, 60s and 70s, comic books changed. This was the Silver Age of comics, and characters were getting sleeker and modern for the younger generation. For example, Jay Garrick, who was the Flash, was actually replaced with Barry Allen. Similarly, Alan Scott was replaced by Hal Jordan as the Green Lantern. The concept of gods and magic was getting replaced with aliens and futuristic science because stories were becoming more and more science fiction. So you can probably understand why Superman was a very important part of the Silver Age. So I will just start with the origins. The origin story of Superman is probably the most popular and well-known origin story of all time. There was once an extremely advanced alien world called Krypton, and everything was well and good until the planet's foremost scientist, Jor-El, found out that their planet's core was about to explode. But it was already too late, and within the little time he had, Jor-El located a habitable world with intelligent life called Earth. He sent his infant son to that planet on a spacecraft to save his life. Now this spacecraft landed in Smallville, and the alien baby was adopted by Jonathan and Martha Kent, who raised this child as their own son. They named the baby Clark Kent. Soon they saw that Clark had amazing abilities. The weaker gravity of Earth and its yellow sun granted him powers way beyond the capabilities of human beings. He was stronger, faster, he could fly, among other things. So when he was just a boy, he put on a colorful costume to become a hero to help people, and then he named himself Superboy. So the first Superboy was actually Superman when he was a boy. Now, during his years in Smallville as Superboy, many interesting things happened. One of which is that Superboy became friends with another boy of his age who was a scientific genius. His name was Lex Luthor. Now later on, because of an unfortunate accident, Lex started to hate Superboy, and this rivalry continued for decades to come. As Superboy, Clark also joined the Legion of Superheroes, which was a superhero team from the future, and later on he got a job at a newspaper called the Daily Planet, and he moved to Metropolis, where he continued to be a hero and finally started to call himself Superman. Now let's come to his powers and abilities, which is basically the point of this video. The Silver Age Superman was, let's just say, immeasurably powerful. In comics, there are so many overpowered characters that people throw around words like infinitely powerful or incalculably fast, so much that these things have started to lose their effect. But believe me, this Superman will redefine what power means. Take a look at this. Here comes the Silver Age Superman pulling at least a dozen frigging planets. And look at that face. He is doing this easily. This is not even close to difficult for him. As Superboy, he got hold of a neutron star that collapsed on itself and became the size of a cricket ball. Now this thing had a huge mass and density. It weighed trillions of tons. And here is the guy who threw it like that's a tennis ball. He is so powerful that he can even push around stars. Here's a time when he actually pushed the sun closer to Earth. And here's a time when he literally moved the Earth from its proper orbit to save it from a cosmic seed. He even collected a large amount of uranium and space stuff, with which he made a planet the size of Krypton. Now, Krypton is a big planet, and I mean huge. It's supposed to make Jupiter look like a joke. But that's not all. This planet that he made, having impossible mass and obviously a huge gravity, he threw that planet to a nearby star. He is so powerful that he punched a giant ape and he actually sent him back in time. So he essentially broke the time barrier with no issues. He can actually travel faster than light. As a matter of fact, he has traveled at thousands of times the speed of light, and again, this was not difficult for him at all. This also means that he can travel through time with no problems. He has withstood an electric shock of 10 billion volts. It did not do anything to him. He did not even feel that. He has easily tanked atomic explosions. He can even take on radiation that should be enough to kill any human within a mile for the next 1,000 years. His senses are so powerful that he can see things that are light years away. He can see fingerprints on meteors. He can see through anything. His heat vision is powerful enough to reignite a star, and it goes on and on. I can keep listing things about how powerful this Superman is. But the thing is, I don't need to. I can say 3 things that will put this matter to rest once and for all. Number 1, he actually destroyed an entire solar system by sneezing too hard. Let me repeat that. He destroyed an entire solar system by sneezing too hard. Number 2, he hit a battleship that just turned to dust. And number 3, he gained powers. For example, at one time he could spin a ball and it kept spinning in mid-air. He could actually create mini versions of himself that would be kind of his army and do what he orders. Now, you can say whatever you want to, but this is not physical strength or any kind of physical powers for that matter. It's just not that simple. This is almost reality manipulation. This is the power to have powers. The Silver Age Superman is a being who can be as powerful as he likes. He can have any power that he wants to. He is limitless. So the question has to be asked, what happened? The modern Superman we know and love today is a top-tier metahuman with power levels that are greater than most other characters in all of comics. But still, this is a guy who can be hurt, who has been hurt. This is a guy who can be killed. In fact, Doomsday was the first being ever to be able to kill Superman. So, what changed? The answer is a reality-shattering event called Crisis on Infinite Earths. You see, there was a multiverse that existed before this event, which is called the pre-crisis multiverse. And then, after the event, there was only one universe, which had beings from many pre-crisis Earths. It was like all those Earths crammed into a single world. Now, they started with an entirely new timeline, so they had a new history, new origins and everything. They had no memory of any previous lives on other universes that they might have had. Soon, this post-crisis world split into many universes as well, creating a post-crisis multiverse. You see, this huge change got rid of the Silver Age Superman. Superman was never that powerful ever again. Basically, it's kind of a retcon. Comic book publications often take a character or their entire set of characters and change their history and origins, behavior, costumes and powers to keep the stories interesting and to keep up with the changing times. So that would mean that this video is useless because DC retcons Superman and that particular version, according to them, never existed. But here comes the twist. In the ongoing death metal event, there is a cosmic showdown between Perpetua, the evil creator of our multiverse, and Batman who laughs, who has now gained immense cosmic powers and calls himself the Darkest Knight. These two Omega-level cosmic entities are fighting it out, and in the meantime, the current DC multiverse is getting destroyed. Perpetua had already destroyed most of the multiverse herself, except maybe 5 or 6 Earths. And this fight, it's destroying every single aspect, including time, space, reality as we know it. Now, the DC multiverse is basically sitting on a larger omniverse. Now, this omniverse has many multiverses, which means it is home to other realities as well. Now, the source, which is this, great unknowable entity, or maybe a group of infinite beings with infinite energy, we don't really know. But what we do know is that for now, the source and the judges of the source have the highest authority in the cosmic scale. So the source, they sent someone called the Chronicler into our multiverse. Now think of the Chronicler as kind of a record keeper, whose job is to enter a multiverse which is at the brink of total destruction, collect the records of all events that ever happened in the multiverse from the very beginning of time till the very end, and then get the hell out of there before it gets destroyed. Now, when the chronicler came in, he started searching for someone who knows everything about the multiverse, every reality and every timeline, even if they have been erased or recreated. So he finally went to Metron. You see, Metron has observed everything, every iteration of every universe, every timeline, every reality-changing event, and has remembered everything from the time when the cosmos was very, very young. And like all the other new gods and beings from the sphere of the gods, Metron has seen the original universe, the original multiverse, the original timeline, and he has seen every other universe and multiverse and timeline that were created, changed, and destroyed later on. So basically, Metron has seen everything. This means that everything happened. Everything is canon. The golden age of superheroes actually happened, a time when Superman could just leap tall buildings in a single bound. He was the champion of truth and justice and the American way, and every hero was optimistic and embodied goodness. The Silver Age happened, an era of possibility and expansion. The modern age happened, with heroes becoming increasingly dark and tragic and imperfect. The New 52 happened with younger, rougher versions of classic characters, and then the rebirth of the DC universe. Everything happened. Seeing such a colorful and interesting multiverse filled with tales of heroism and sacrifice that should go on and on, the chronicler decided to try to stop this multiverse from getting destroyed. Now, what happened next is still a mystery because that issue has not been released yet, and believe me, I am waiting eagerly for that. But my point is that no timeline or age or no iteration of the multiverse can be said to not have existed. If anything was printed in the pages of DC Comics, then it is true. And that is why in the age of rebirth, this video on the Silver Age Superman is still relevant. Who knows, maybe one day we will see that all-good, all-powerful Man of Steel again. Well, that's it for this video. Would you like to see the Silver Age Superman in comics again? Let us know in the comment section below. Like and share this video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.